This all seems really familiar. Hello everybody and welcome to my top 10 movies of 2021. It has been quite a while since I've done a video because back in August, I believe it was, my Free Guy review, I put it out there, it was like my favorite movie of the year, and I was like, I can't wait to talk about this with everybody, and then barely anybody watched it, and I was like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. And then I started doing written reviews instead on Independent Australia, and yeah, they were like doing way better, and so I was kind of like, you know, I'm leaning more towards the written stuff now, and yeah, push the videos aside a little bit, but I've had a lot of people who have been missing my videos and saying how much they wish I'd do some more and all that sort of stuff, and you guys know who you are, so here I am, I'm here for you, and yeah, it's kind of fun doing this again. But anyway, so yeah, this year, they're like, even though we've been in the middle of this pandemic and, you know, people were saying cinema is dying and all this sort of stuff, we've had a lot of really great films. There have also been some not great films, but yeah, so of course, with, you know, the top 10, as with everybody's top 10s, I'm doing the same kind of thing. This is not to do with like a technical rating, like scores don't really matter this time around. This is more my favorite films, because there were some films that I might have given like a 9 out of 10 or, you know, like some sort of high rating, but you know, they're just other films that are more rewatchable and more fun, and those are the ones that I'm kind of, you know, gravitating towards as far as this list goes. So, without further ado, let's just get stuck straight into it with number 10. So my 10th favourite movie of this year is No Time to Die, the long-awaited James Bond film, the final Bond film for Daniel Craig, of course, and this was a movie that, like, it did have a lot of flaws. I mean, the villain was entirely forgettable, and, you know, a few other little things, but overall, I think it was one of the better Daniel Craig Bond films. It was the sort of movie that stewing on it for a couple of days like really made me like it more, because after a couple of days I was sort of forgetting about the things I didn't like about it and really focusing on the stuff that I did like. And obviously I won't give any spoilers, but for those who have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. The big climactic scene where something happens, I thought was done brilliantly. You know, I thought that was really good, but obviously it's gonna leave a lot of questions as to what's going to happen next and stuff. But yeah, look, I really enjoyed the film, so that made it into my top 10. So number 9 is a movie that not everybody appreciated as much as I did, and that was Gunpowder Milkshake. I really enjoyed the heck out of this film. It reminded me of kind of like a Robert Rodriguez style action film, you know, really over the top kind of stuff, really creative action sequences. Like, that was the one thing that I really took away, you know, months and months after seeing it, was just how inventive and how imaginative the action scenes and the gunfights and stuff were in this film. I thought Karen Dilissen turned in a great performance in the lead role. Everybody else was just amazing in the film. I loved everybody. And yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun. And I was kind of surprised that not everybody, you know, liked it as much as I did. But yeah, you know, it's all subjective. So there you go. So number 8 is The Last Duel. And that is a movie that I was not expecting to even really like. I mean, the trailer didn't do a lot for me. I kind of thought like, yeah, you know, it's a medieval movie directed by Ridley Scott. It's got an amazing cast in it, but just, yeah, medieval themed movies don't really grab me straight away, you know. But I went and saw it mainly because I had to review it, and yeah, I was just mesmerized by this film. The tone of the film, like the color palette and everything that was used throughout, just really made it like feel authentic in a way. You could almost smell the smells of the interiors of these old castles and things. And as far as the story goes, I thought it was brilliantly done, the way it was told in 3 chapters from 3 different perspectives of the main characters. I thought all the performances were absolutely fantastic, and yeah, just really this year has made me a big fan of Jodie Comer, who of course was in Free Guy as well, and I don't think I'd ever seen her in anything before, but yeah, she is an absolute powerhouse of an actress. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed that film, and yeah, it was definitely one that stuck with me long afterwards. Like, I still think about it sometimes and just how brilliant it was. So welcome to my top 10, Last Duel. Alright, so number 7 is The Suicide Squad, and this is a film that was without question my most anticipated movie of this year. You had one of my most all-time favorite filmmakers in James Gunn directing my favorite actress in Margot Robbie, playing my favorite character in Harley Quinn. It was almost like this movie was made for me. Like, they're like, you know, let's have a checklist of what Dan would like, and we'll tick like the top 3 things. There you go. So yeah, I was hugely looking forward to this film, and I still went in with an open mind, you know, like as you got to do with all films. But I didn't love it at first. I kind of walked out thinking, yeah, there were just some things that didn't gel with me. And I do have a full review. I'm not going to go into it now because I have a review on my channel. But I didn't love it. I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. But that being said, on subsequent viewings, and I've seen it like 4 or 5 times now, and it does grow on me a little bit more. Like, I wouldn't change my score that I gave it, which I think was maybe a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't change that because I still stand by everything I said in terms of what I didn't like about it. But yeah, it has sort of grown on me a little bit more on repeat viewings. So yeah, like, it is good fun. And I know a lot of people out there think it's like best movie of the year and stuff. Good on you. Yeah, wasn't best movie of the year for me, but yeah, I liked it. Alright, coming in at number 6 is a movie that is always going to be one of my go-to answers for when people say, what do you think is a movie that is a better sequel than the original? And for me, A Quiet Place Part 2 was phenomenal. I loved that movie so goddamn much. From the opening scene, which was a prequel to the first film, which was just brilliantly done, then, you know, even though it felt in tone very similar to the first one, but they still managed to do something kind of different with it. And particularly splitting the main characters up and having 2 different journeys, and yeah, ending where it did very abruptly. Like, you know there's going to be a part 3. There has to be a part 3. And yeah, I just absolutely loved it. It was tense. The dialogue was fantastic. The characters were just amazing. Performances all around, everything about it. The directing was just superb, and yeah, that is definitely a movie that I thought outdid the original, and yeah, cannot wait to see the 3rd one. Alright, coming in at numero 4 is a movie that, okay, technically in Australia it's not coming out until New Year's Day, which Over here, it makes it a 2022 film, but being that we are like the last country on the entire planet to actually be getting this film, and it's been out for ages everywhere else, I am including Ghostbusters Afterlife into my top 10 for this year. I don't care. Yeah, so I haven't published a review of this yet because I've been told to wait till as close as possible till the day of release, so I've kind of got to wait, but I loved that movie so much, and it was a great example of a movie that it really had some flaws, you know, in terms of recycling the third act from the first film, and just, you know, another one of my main criticisms was that all the kids just know how to use all the ghost-busting equipment, like, straight away. There's no real sort of learning curve or anything like that. They're just into it. But it's one of those films that there is so much to love about it that it made the flaws insignificant. You know, when you're having that much fun watching a movie and your heart is just filled with so much joy and warmth, and you know, it's just such a wonderful film, and it's just a perfect sequel to the first two films. You know, all this time later, like, they did it right. You know, they really got it right. It's like Jason Reitman, the director, said at the start of the film, we had this little video message from him where he said, you know, this is a film by a family, about a family, and you could tell how much love was poured into this film. It was Ghostbusters done right, and I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to see it again and again and again. All right, coming in at number 4 is a movie that nobody expected we were ever going to see, and yet here we are with Zack Snyder's Justice League. So look, I was one of the people who liked the other version, the Joss Whedon version, if you will. Yeah, it had its flaws, but again, you know, for me it was one of those movies that the good outweighed the bad, and I really enjoyed it. And so I was kind of like, all right, I'm interested to see Zack Snyder's cut, you know, and good on him for being able to do the film. I mean, can you imagine being a filmmaker, pouring your heart and soul into this labor of love, having to be taken away because of a family tragedy? Like, I mean, that was a horrible, horrible thing that he must have gone through. And then, you know, having everyone just basically ruining what you set out to do. Like, from a filmmaking perspective, yeah, I can totally understand how that must have felt. So the fact that he actually got to make his movie the way he wanted to, I thought was absolutely amazing. And what a film! I mean, when it was first released, like, I saw it twice in the first week, you know, for a 4-hour movie, to make me want to come back to it so soon, like, it does not feel like 4 hours. And it's just a fascinating experiment in a way, like, to see what editing can do to change a film, you know, to change the context of scenes. I'm not talking about just throwing more scenes in or whatever, but even the way some of the scenes were actually cut, like, yeah, it was really fascinating to watch. There were a couple of things that I still liked better in the Joss Whedon version, but overall, it was a great, great film. And like I said, you know, for a 4-hour epic like that to go by so quickly, that is an achievement in itself. So, yeah, well done, Zach, if you're watching this, which you're not. Alright, so number 3 is Free Guy. When I saw that movie, I was like, this is the best movie this year. Nothing is going to beat it. And I saw it 4 times in the cinemas. I did. I loved it so much. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did, but I did. It is just such a delightful film. It is so much fun, and I like going to the movies to have fun, and it doesn't get much better than this one. Not only that, it was a really inspiring story, I thought. You know, if you're the sort of person who is stuck in a rut in life and you're just doing the same routine over and over again and you're not happy with that, like, this movie is kind of, you know, a bit of a firecracker under you to maybe do the thing that you want to do that you haven't done yet, or whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now, but Yeah, Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds was great. There were so many Easter eggs in the film that was such a surprise. And if you haven't seen the film, I'm not going to spoil them. If you have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. A particular fight scene that just involved a lot of Disney properties, which I thought was just outstanding. And again, Jodie Comer, you know, she was just brilliant in the film. And I really enjoyed that the love story was something completely different. You know, she ended up falling in love with something that doesn't exist, you know, like Guy is a computer character, you know, and she thinks he's real, and so they have this thing, but then she finds out that he's not, and like it's kind of, you know, it's just very unique and not like anything I've really seen before. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the film, and yeah, like I said, at the time I didn't expect anything was gonna beat it, but there's two more movies that did. Alright, so I've been saying to a lot of people that these next two movies have been tied for first place because I loved them for completely different reasons. But I sort of figured, you know, for the purpose of this list, I probably need to split them up. So it's a really close second, but my second place movie for this year is Last Night in Soho. And this was a movie I was really looking forward to. Edgar Wright is also one of my most favorite filmmakers of all time. And there was just a lot of things that I really liked about the look of this film going into it, you know, from what I had seen in the trailer. But the trailer did nothing to really tell me what this movie was going to be like. And it was nothing short of extraordinary. You leave the theater feeling like you've just woken from a dream or something. Not a pleasant one. The story was incredibly well done. Like, there are some people who thought it was confusing, but I really didn't. I thought it was very straightforward, personally, and it could have been convoluted. Like, it could have gone one way or the other, and yeah, fortunately, I think it definitely went in the way that it was very kind of a mainstream story disguised as a bit of an art house looking film. But yeah, there was just so much to love about it. It was absolute perfection. I did give it a 5-star rating in my written review. I would have given it a 10 out of 10 had I done a video review on this channel. Because yeah, I really couldn't fault it at the end of the day. It was imaginative. The characters were just fantastic. The kind of movie that, you know, you can just take it for what it is on the surface level, but you can also look deeper into it and, you know, unravel a lot of other themes that are buried in there. But yeah, either way, like, it is just an absolute piece of perfection in terms of cinema, and I loved it. And man, I was really wrestling between this one and this next film. So, of course, my number one movie for this year is SpiderMan No Way Home. Which I loved. Again, you know, the two movies I love so much, but this one, as I said earlier, I love to go into a cinema and have fun. And the press screening I went to for this film, with at least 5 rounds of huge applause and cheering and everything, was just magical. It was like being at a rock concert. And yeah, you know, it's the sort of film you can't really talk about much at this point in time because there's still a lot of people who haven't seen it. So I'm not going to give spoilers. But if you're one of the 98% of people who have seen it, you know why this movie is such a big deal. I mean, what they did in this film was just a milestone achievement in cinema. And there were so many other little surprises as well that I wasn't expecting. It had so much heart. There are 3 scenes in the film that make me cry. which I can't say what they are, of course, but there you go. And yeah, a really bittersweet ending, which I loved. You know, it wasn't like a happy ending, but it was the perfect ending. It was realistic. You know, I love that about it. Yeah, just everything about the film was perfect. I can't find a single fault with it. And yeah, it's the sort of movie I want to watch again and again and again and again and again, just to go on that thrill ride. Because the second time I saw it, even though there weren't the big applauses and cheerses, it was still a hell of a lot of fun. And, you know, seeing those key moments happen and everything is still mind-blowing. So, yeah. That is my number one movie of 2021. Only just. Alright, so there we go. That wraps up my top 10 list of 2021. Yeah, thank you guys for watching if you have watched it. Because, you know, I'm not expecting a lot of people, but, yeah, whatevs. I'm doing this for you. If you're watching this video, I'm doing this for you because you're here. And I appreciate it. Yeah, so like I said, I have been doing written reviews. I'll put a link down in the description where you can find my author's profile on Independent Australia. So I'm doing a movie review every week on there and have been for a few months now. And yeah, I don't know. I'll see how this video goes. I might get back into doing video reviews because I'm having fun right now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, won't we? But anyway, in the meantime, I would love to know what your favorite movie of 2021 is. Don't worry about putting a top 10 if you can't think of it. Just, yeah, what are some of your favorite movies? Maybe like a top 3. I don't know, just write whatever you want. It'll be good to talk to people, you know, because that's one thing I miss with the written reviews is no one really talks to me there. Alrighty, so fire away, drop me some comments either here, Facebook or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.